Hey guys, Schmitcoin here with another update. In the last video we talked about this level at this prior swing high, and I warned that if we closed below this level, we would likely see further lows. I was originally aiming for this lower boundary on this broadening ascending wedge, and also coinciding with this retest of the daily 200 EMA. So far, if we go ahead and we play the story forward, we're definitely below this prior swing high. And we can see that we're doing so on fairly large spread and modest volume. Not anything terribly concerning, nothing that's a large outlier, but it is definitely above the volume moving average. Now, this overall consolidation is consolidating downward, and that's a good sign for the bulls. What we definitely don't want to see is if we see a move down, we don't want to see expanding volume, and we're not really seeing that at the moment. But I do think we do have more downside. I think that this weekend shakeout here is likely just seeing a little bit of a bounce before it continues downward. And ultimately, I've got my eye on this 200 EMA and the lower boundary of the broadening wedge. Now let's talk about if things get really serious, what that could mean. Although I'm looking at the daily chart, the weekly chart also tells a pretty similar story. We see this very clean rejection off of the 200 and the 250 EMA on the weekly, but nothing overtly bearish, nothing large in the volume signature, nothing huge on the spread. But this rejection does likely mean that we're going to continue going down, like I stated. Now, the broadening wedge, if we were to project it onto the weekly, is about there. And one thing that I do have my eye on is a reversal pattern known as a BBands M top. And that's M as in Michael. And essentially what a BBands M top is we have a close outside of the band followed by a higher high inside the band. So it makes this sort of M shape, right? Here's our M here. And the typical target for an M top has two targets. One is the midline and one is the lower band. Now, if it comes down to this lower band, that's perfect. I mean, that exactly sets us up for the scenario I described in the last video where we make this right shoulder and we continue upward. That's great. I think timing-wise, that makes a lot of sense. But something to keep an eye out for if we do end up seeing a break of this low here, as we don't really want to see the market closing the weeklies below this midline. Obviously, that's far away. The weekly just opened. We've got 6.5 days left on this weekly candle, but it's something to keep an eye out as the week progresses. Now, going back to the daily chart, we're going to have some early signs that we're going to see that 19.5K target. 19.5K is the target for the Bollinger Bands M top. And what is going to give us a pretty clear sign that we're likely going to see that is if we start closing daily candles below this 200 EMA and obviously below this broadening wedge sort of deal here. So I'll have to keep an eye on it. For now, it's kind of just a little bit of a chop, but the volume and the spread here does have me leaning toward a retest of this 200 EMA, so I'll have to keep an eye on it. And if it does break this 200 EMA, watch out for the 19.5, because on our Bollinger Bands, that's our key level here. That's the midline. So keep an eye out for that. I'll update you guys later on in the week. I'll try to get a stream in as well. I think my graphics card is coming in sometime this week, and we'll be able to get some fun and interesting content in there. Once again, this is Schmitcoin, and I'll keep you guys updated later on in the week.